And so Karen and I are going to be judging the cosplay contest.
I can't wait.
That's on Saturday at 4 p.m. And she sent me a bunch of emojis, the last of which was a piece of poop. So we said that if you dress as a piece of poop, you'll definitely get some kind of prize. I'll be so impressed if somebody does that. So anyway, either way, come to that. Then directly after, which will be around 4:30 or 4:45, we're going to congregate by the panel stage with anyone who's interested and walk to a nearby bar.
Oh, I cannot wait.
It's at Fort Mason, and there's a really cool bar right there, but it's kind of small, and with the convention there, it might just be packed. So we can try that, but if that doesn't work out, we can go somewhere else close by.
Sounds good.
So panel stage Saturday, 4:30, if you want to meet up with me and Karen, if you're going to Walker Shocker San Francisco. A few things about our plans for this podcast moving forward. So we're going to give Karen a break here because she needs to refresh, and we'll be lucky if she comes back at all. But in the meantime, well, we will be lucky. It's weekly, as I mentioned last time. So next week, Melissa and Duncan will be on to talk about Telltale's Walking Dead season 3, episode 3 that just came out. That'll be cool. And then I'm going to do the Kari Payton interview or panel from London, which was fantastic. And then Karen and I are going to cover the Girl with All the Gifts movie.
Cannot wait.
That'll be cool. And then the first week of May, we're doing our annual wrap-up crossover with The Talking Dead, which I'm really looking forward to because I hope I can get somewhat of a rewatch in because I really want to get the measure of this whole season when we talk about it with them. But it'll be no holds barred.
Yeah. And that'll be, I mean, I was going to say it'll be 16 hours of Walking Dead, but it's actually more than that since the episodes are longer than that.
Yeah, I probably won't watch the whole thing again.
Those are 20 hours of your life. But you know what? That you are now professional full-time podcasters.
So that means I can play it at double speed.
Right. There you go. That'd be fun, actually.
Next on my plate, since I am a full-time professional podcaster now, I'm adding more podcasts to my roster. So I don't know if you know this, Karen, but the American Gods show is starting on April 30th. And
yes,
I'll be doing the American Godcast, I think we're going to call it.
Oh, fantastic. With who?
This show is based on Neil Gaiman's novel, and now there's a comic series. And I have totally been curious about Neil Gaiman, but haven't read very much of his stuff, just one or two here and there. I saw Stardust, which I thought was awesome. But I'm lucky to have two people as my co-hosts who are huge Neil Gaiman fans who've been reading all his Sandman comics and everything and reading a bunch of his novels. And that is my wife, Jenny.
Woo!
Yeah, who's never done a
awesome
podcast with me, and she's nervous that we'll be fighting the whole time, but I think we'll do fine.
She's crazy because she did come on and do a podcast with us, and she was great.
Yeah, she's done a couple, yeah.
Yeah, she's really good.
She's excited to do it.
She's smart and she's funny and she's well spoken. So I think you picked a great. I mean, I know I'm biased because I love Jenny, but she's wonderful.
And much like you, she's not afraid to tell me when I'm wrong.
In fact, it's kind of fun.
It's kind of fun. And then the other one is another fan of Neil Gaiman, Mr. Blog.
Oh, fantastic.
Right? Yeah, it's going to be cool.
Oh, it's going to be so cool.
And I'm really curious about this, not only because I've been curious about Neil Gaiman, but the central premise is interesting. Here on Wikipedia, it says, the central premise of the novel is that gods and mythological creatures exist because people believe in them. Immigrants to the United States brought with them spirits and gods. The power of these mythological beings has diminished as people's beliefs waned. New gods have arisen, reflecting America's obsession with media, celebrity, technology, and drugs, among other things. It just sounds really interesting.
It's going to be great.
And the showrunner is Brian Fuller, who was the showrunner of Dead Like Me, Wonder Falls, Pushing Daisies, and Hannibal. These are all like critically acclaimed shows that ended too early, but I think now that he's on cable, he's got a really stylized style, and he was actually going to be the showrunner for the Star Trek with Sonequa Martin Green,
Mm-hmm.
But he quit that so he could do American Gods, which makes me think Star Trek is troubled, actually, but we'll see.
We'll see. When does American Gods start?
April 30th.
April 30th. Okay.
Yeah. So look out for that. There's a full cast read audiobook, like doing it like a play. I'm debating of American Gods. I'm debating whether I should listen to that, or I'll probably just come in fresh since we have two people who know it, and I'll be the fresh perspective. All right. Next, I'm really excited about the last couple of seasons of Game of Thrones. And I don't know who I'm going to be co-hosting that with. It'll probably be a mix of people because I know there's a few people that are interested.
Yep.
I'm kind of hoping that Melissa and Duncan can be kind of regulars because they're such a good balance, and Duncan is a Mr. Game of Thrones encyclopedia. But maybe Melissa, when she's subbing in and out, maybe we'll have other people in. I don't know. Plus, there's Fear the Walking Dead coming in June, so I'll probably be podcasting about that. And we went to that concert the other night, Game of Thrones, conducted by.
I heard it was amazing.
Oh my god, it was incredible.
Yeah,
it was.
That's
what
David
throne
and RJ
there.
were saying.
Yeah.
So I was gonna go, but it was on a school night, so I gave RJ my ticket, and he loved it.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. It was mind-blowing. There was lots of fire and all kinds of stuff. So, and our Patreon Facebook group is doing a series binge watch of that right now. Some of them haven't seen it, so the other ones are like, come on, let's all watch it and get caught up in time.
I'm going to hop in on that too.
Yeah, I think I might too if I have time. It'd be good to get caught up.
You also proposed maybe Westworld when it comes back in 2018.
Yes, and that's in 2018, and so I want to do that if nothing else super interesting comes up in the meantime.
Yeah.
Because one thing about Westworld is we'd be coming in season 2, and I think if anything else comes up that's really interesting that we could get in and right at the beginning, that would be cool. But I don't know. I want to, so hopefully we can. Also, I know David is super busy, so if I knew for sure he could be like my co-host for the whole thing, I'd be more inclined to be like, yeah, let's do it. But it's possible. So all of this is all around my new foray into podcasting as a career. And podcasting has really meant a lot to me. It's been not just about The Walking Dead. You know, Walking Dead cast is definitely my baby and the one I care the most about, and it's where we put most of our creative energy and everything. But in some ways it didn't really matter that the subject was Walking Dead. For me, it's just about having fun and the joy of doing this, you know, with you. It's really fun, and I hope that's contagious for you guys that are listening. But it's also about appreciation. It's really fun for me to just dissect something and get into what we love about it and what we don't love so much.
Yep.
And, you know, I always said I want to enhance your experience of it. So I hope that we've done that. It's also about connection because we really so appreciate all the people we've come to know from doing this.
Yes.
And how we felt your responses and your presence and all of that. So those things keep me going. And so this year is about me shooting for my dream of doing this all the time and making a career at it. Yeah. And I'm giving myself a year, and if I can't do it, then I will still be able to say at the end of my life, you know, I really went for it. Versus, fuck, man, I really wanted to do that and I never tried.
Right.
You know?
Exactly. You know what? It's going to be a great year.
Yeah.
I want you to enjoy every minute of it because I think it's going to be really fun.
And even if like 6 months from now, I'm like, I can see, oh God, I don't think it's really going to work. I'm still going to enjoy the time devoted to podcasting and just have as much fun with it as I can. So,
I'm so glad.
So I figured just to be transparent and let you guys know, the way that I make money from doing this is through advertising, through Patreon, and a little bit through Amazon. And also I count Walker Stalker. So those are like the prongs. And I'm going to set a goal for the end of this year of Patreon for $2,000 a month. So we're at $640 right now, and that's with 91 supporters, and that's mind blowing. And I didn't even know if we would get anything, you know, I thought we could be like $25 or something.
Right.
For my mom or something. So I'm eternally grateful that, because I know podcasters who've tried this and with great podcasts and not gotten hardly anything. So I'm totally stoked that. At the same time, I'm like, well, if I really want to make a career out of it, then that's not quite enough. So this is $2,000 a month is actually pretty conservative. It's still a huge pay cut from my earlier job, but it's just what I think will satisfy my wife for one thing. And just what I need to be able to make a living.
Right.
So, but I want to thank all of you guys who have already been supporting. It's been really great, and it's been fun connecting with you guys in Facebook and everything. So thank you so much. So we get like anywhere from 18 to 35,000 downloads. And if everyone listening to this did a couple dollars a month, that would be way too much. Like, no, come on, guys. But this I want this to be free, and I don't want you to feel like, oh my God, if I'm not contributing, then I feel guilty. Like, especially if you can't afford to do it. But if you would feel good about supporting me and my dream and helping me be able to do all these other kinds of things, other podcasts. And I'm going to be doing more stuff on Patreon too. I think I'm going to start doing some behind the scenes stuff on there so you guys can see. Yeah. So if you would feel good about that and you want to help me achieve that goal and continue this where I get to keep doing all this stuff for you, then go to patreon.com/Jason and Karen.
But we appreciate it. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah. All right. Let's get into the main course.
Attention, shoppers. Deadcast Top 5 in 5, 4, 3, 2.
All right, it's our Deadcast Top 5 this week. It's our Top 5 highlights for Season 7, Episode 16, the first day of the rest of your life, and the last episode of the season.
Yes. So, overall, what'd you think?
You tell me. I've been talking way too long.
Okay. I'm happy to. Overall, I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
I really, really enjoyed it. It was great.
What were you thinking about 45 minutes in?
I wasn't thinking of anything. I was lost in the momentum of this episode because it had a great momentum. I mean, I suppose I was thinking, crap, they're in a real pickle. Let's see, 45 minutes in,
well,
had battle part 1 been started yet?
No. Well, yes. So I'm talking about right when Negan was about to bash Carl's head in.
I thought, wait, what season is this? Is this season 6? Is
Yeah.
this the finale? Yeah, no, I did think that. So, okay, yeah, my overall impression was it was a really good episode. There wasn't a cliffhanger ending, so that's nice. So we don't have to wait 6 months to find out who died. Nothing like that. It does feel a little bit like there was some wheel spinning during this season, and we're kind of where we were with the last season finale. So, each side is preparing to fight. Although it's not exactly like that, it's, it did feel very familiar. Rick is kneeling down. Once again, Carl's right there. Negan has his bat and he's talking of taking off hands. So that seemed familiar.
Yeah. And
I was okay, though. It's okay that this is the battle part 1. I'm fine with that. Oh, this season's been difficult for me, as anyone who's listening to this podcast knows.
No surprise.
It does feel a little bit like, come on, let's get on with it. Let's get to the next thing. But, I didn't expect a lot, and I got more out of the season finale than I thought I would. So
that's good. I mean, my point in asking that was just that I think right at that moment, I was like, oh, this feels a lot like the premiere, and I don't think if we don't get some positive developments here, it's going to really suck. And I think Karen's going to be out. I was thinking that, and I wouldn't blame you. But I kept thinking, there's going to be some kind of a Calvary situation. There's got to be. And, he pulled that bat back and Shiva came launching in. Yes. And I was like, yes!
Except I was like, no, the other guy.
Yeah. That would have been funny. But I think that totally redeemed it. I mean, that happens a lot where thematically, like in Star Wars, they'll repeat a similar element of it, but then there's a twist on it, So I think that was the point. It did feel repetitive until that happened. And then it was like, okay, for me, that redeemed it. I didn't see it as a problem at all. But anyways, I loved the episode. and I thought it was well done, and I thought there were some gaping flaws and confusions as well. But overall, I was really, really feeling good about a lot of it. And even though logically I'm like, that was kind of dumb, the feeling I got is probably more, I don't know, jazzed than I've been in a long time. So that's really something, you know,
because it really did have some great moments.
Yeah.
In it. But overall, we are at a point where, let's face it, each side is gearing up for battle.
Yeah. But now we have this whole, well, I don't know if this makes much of a difference, but we have all these groups that because the point in earlier was Rick was cocky because they had gotten so battle hardened and able to handle situations, and just totally was in his head. What do you call it? In over his head. And now they've amassed all these people to help them. I mean, they're still going to battle, but yeah.
And we're sort of where we were at the beginning of the season finale, which is each side is gearing up for battle. But okay, some of the chess pieces have moved, but they're still gearing up for battle.
Yeah, I have something to say about that, but it relates to one of the emails, so I think I'm going to save it until then. But let's get into our top 5. So
let's do it.
You go first.
Okay, I'd like to go first and say how delightful it was to see the character of Abraham back in this episode. I love Michael Cudlitz, and it was so fun for me to see him again. I loved all his interactions with Sasha. It was just great. It was like seeing an old friend. And I love how he phrases things, how he said in the episode, it's always for someone else. Both of us know if we're going to kick, there sure as hell better be a point to it. So maybe we feel like there was a point to all this, which is great.
First, he said, what did he say? We lay our meaties on the chopping block.
Yeah,
something like
right. Right. Vivid. And why he doesn't like the beach, because there's sand in your bathing suit is like sandblasting your nutsack or something.
Stupid.
Like, that's why I miss Abraham. That's right.
When I saw the Abraham flashbacks, I was like, this is cool because I miss him and it's great to see him. And I wondered if that meant we get to see Glenn too. But then I quickly dismissed that because I thought, this is a Sasha episode. This is about her. But I also was hoping, since it was clear they were showing scenes between the two of them, that maybe it would be a little more, because I never felt like they clicked together. I felt like it was two actors pretending to have a relationship. And I thought, maybe it'll click a little bit more this time. And it did a little tiny bit when he, said to her, look, I know you better than you know yourself, basically. And he called her on it, that we're not the type to just hang back. We go and help. Yeah. And she was like, yes, you're right. So that was a good moment. But otherwise, I thought it was just as awkward and unbelievable as ever, especially when he said that thing about the nutsack and she actually scoffed. I feel like Sonequa Martin Green is just fighting not to go, that's dumb. Like, I would never go out with this guy, she says to the director. Can we change this?
That guy? That big?
Are you serious with this? That's just how I feel like with them too. I think Rosita somehow feels like a much better fit with him, because she's got that look on her face all the time. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? It just seems like she would end up with a guy who's saying stuff like that all the time. Does that seem weird?
Yeah. It doesn't seem weird. But it was fun to see him again.
Yes.
For me, it was fun to see him again.
Yeah, it was for me too. Okay, right, my number 5 is the surprises, because this episode had me completely caught off guard by a couple of things, which I love, because I study this stuff so much and I just feel like I have a sense of the rhythms of the show. And I knew that there was probably going to be some kind of a Calvary moment, but I didn't think about Shiva at all. Yeah. So when that tiger came through, it was just such a great feeling. And right before that, I was like, man, this ain't turning out as differently from the premiere as I was thinking it would. But then it just took a sharp left turn, and that was so great. And it so needed that ending. And I feel like the ending really, like I said, it saved the episode. But people are asking how Shiva would know which guys to attack.
Yeah, that's a good question.
She didn't. She just attacked everyone, but it didn't matter. No, I'm just kidding. I don't really care because I think it was so awesome. It was too awesome not to put in.
Uh-huh.
But we could just say that Ezekiel trained her, like he just points that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
There. Attack Shiva.
Or
Yeah, that'd be great.
holds up like savior cloths because they have that certain smell.
Oh, yeah. That's good. Okay. Okay. I'm willing to buy that.
And then the other thing that shocked me was Rick trying to light that bomb and it wouldn't work. And then the heapsters suddenly turned their guns on him. I actually gasped. I was like, and then I laughed at myself. I just gasped.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's adorable.
You thought did you see it coming kind of? I know some of the listeners did.
I did not. I was taken by surprise. It was Rosita who tried to light it up.
Yeah.
And Rick's looking at her like, why isn't it lighting up?
Or yeah.
Yeah. So we figure that at some point after Rosita and Aaron, who I think was helping her, and maybe Daryl too, at some point after they had wrapped up the dynamite and set the timer and set everything, or maybe not a timer, but set everything together, one of the heapsters had, or as one of our listeners referred to them, trash holes.
Yeah,
one of the trash
I like
holes
that.
I like it better.
Becky.
Which one of our listeners was it?
Becky Price.
Did you say? Becky Price is so funny. So one of the trash holes crawled into the truck and dismantled it. That's what we're supposed to believe.
Or just disconnected the wire or something that led to the switch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did think it was weird that blonde one questioned Michonne for wanting to split up.
Yes.
But I did not put two and two together and think that meant they were traitors. I just thought those people are weird. They say weird things. They talk weird. They're weird. And then the Negan comes out and the camera lingers on Dwight for a second, which we'll get to later, but we wonder if he knew about this. And then I wonder if Jadis actually wanted to get busy with Rick.
Well, I was wondering that myself. Like, was she going to be gifted Rick in the?
Maybe so.
Maybe he was one of the 12/10 that she was going to wind up with.
She's like, I'll take Rick and Daryl and
right.
Is Shane around still?
And Michonne, just because
Michonne, throw her in. Yeah,
I'm weird. Just I'll take them all at one time.
And the priest. No.
Right.
So she I think from a story crafting perspective that was misdirection for us, so we wouldn't suspect turnabout, and that totally worked for me. But it could have been misdirection for her character too. She's like, I'm going to flirt with him so he won't realize that I'm going to kill him later.
Yeah, maybe.
But she said, I lay with him after. You care? And what was the look on Rick's face? What was he doing?
Rick slowly backed away. I don't know if you noticed, but he took like about 4 steps backwards.
I think he was trying to have a serious look, but it could be interpreted as no. But he was also checking Michonne's reaction. No, right?
Yeah. Yes, that's correct, honey. No.
Okay. No, definitely not. No, I think he was like, that's unsettling, and I can't even answer that. But also flattering. Thanks.
Weird lady.
So those were the two big surprises, and then kind of Hilltop showing up was a nice surprise, but I thought they might. And that Negan knows everything, that was kind of a surprise. But the one thing that was not a surprise for me, and I don't want to unpack it necessarily now, but just that Sasha was a zombie inside that coffin. I knew she was going to be a zombie.
Right.
Did you?
And I did because I got spoiled, not by what was going to happen in this particular episode, but I got spoiled by people's speculations about another character that we will not disclose, and in the comic. And because or should I go ahead and just close it?
Yeah, I guess we shouldn't say.
There's
case people want to read the
character-
comic, but
Okay, I won't say a thing, but let me just say that there's another character in the comic that people were heavily speculating about and how it related to Sasha.
Yeah,
and
that has a similar death or whatever.
Yes, and because of that, and because we've been calling it all along, we even said Sasha's a goner because of Star Trek.
Right.
So
Yep.
we knew.
Yeah, and I think
and
because of the comic, that's
yeah.
I don't know. I was hoping you hadn't been spoiled because I want to know if people who didn't know the comic were shocked by that. But she was a great zombie.
She really
The big
was.
mouth.
And if only she had gotten a good bite in on Negan.
That would end the story. We wouldn't have a season 8 or 9.
We would have a season 8. They would just have to find something else
9
to
or
go
10.
on about. Oh God.
Okay, what's your number 4?
All right. My number 4 is sort of related to yours. You phrased it as surprises. I phrased it as traitors. Dun, dun, dun. So let's talk about a couple of traitors. Eugene seemed to be truly on Negan's side. Now, I don't blame him because it seems like for a long time, he didn't have another choice. What was he going to do? I mean, he could have sided with the gals, the concubines, and he could have tried to poison Negan. He could certainly have done that, and I think he probably should have done that. But for whatever reason, he didn't. I didn't really blame him, thinking that maybe there was another clever thing he was doing. But then at the end of this, it seems like he could have run into Alexandria in the chaos. He could have hidden. He could have put himself back in Alexandria, but he went back seemingly on his own volition. And went back to the sanctuary. And, Negan's asking him, why did Sasha die? So it was sort of a dangerous place he put himself. He could safely have put himself in Alexandria, and I think he would have been fine. He could have explained, look, I'm the one who gave Sasha the pill. And, that really was the turning point of the first part of the battle. They would have been screwed otherwise. So I think you could, at this point, really call him a traitor. Because he chose to go back.
I thought we were pretty much arrived at this last time because we knew we knew that he had a chance to get away with Rosita and he turned her down. And it seemed pretty clear that he was feeling like he would be safest there. But you said last episode, he feels safer there, but he doesn't agree with Negan. And I think that's where he is now. He's still, if Negan, he doesn't want things to be this way, but because Negan is who he is, he feels like, well, I'm going to get killed unless I do this.
Yeah, I thought the reason why he didn't go with Rosita and Sasha was more because leaving at that moment would have been a very dangerous proposition. He probably would have been caught. But this time I thought, well, all you have to do is walk 10 feet in the chaos and dive into Alexandria and you're home free again.
He's with them because he feels like that's what's safest for him. And he's trying to convince Rick and everybody too. In fact, he's still, a good person. I mean, he's a coward and he has no integrity, but he's trying to help his friends. And the way he thinks to do that is by telling them, you should just stop and do what Negan says, because he wants to save all their lives. So, that was in a twisted way the act of a person who's trying to help versus an evil person,
Yeah, that's true. But definitely a traitor because, they've helped him and they saved him more times. I mean, if he could have gotten into Alexandria, he could have given them such valuable strategic information. Right. He could have said, okay, here's where this is. Here's where that is. Here's how many people they have. They could have given all kinds of great strategic information. And by the way, they should have probably tried to get that out of Dwight too. I don't know if they did or didn't, but if they didn't get it out of Dwight before they let him go, that was a huge mistake. Yeah. But Eugene could have really been the thing that would help them with all his great information, but they didn't.
And even if Eugene was, we know now he wasn't, but if he was thinking, well, I'm kidnapped right now, so, I don't want to give Negan the poison pill because that might be able to be traced back to me. That might be one reason why he didn't think that. But you're right. Once the war is started and he's right there at Alexandria, then that's sort of a make or break moment to go join his friends and use that information. And he chose not to take it. But that's totally consistent with the way that I have been thinking and hoping that he is, because I think it's more interesting for one person to feel afraid of Negan to the point of deciding to join up versus everybody being all noble heroes all the time.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And being unbelievably brave to the point of foolhardy. See Rosita and Sasha.
Yeah. So I thought it was fun to see the looks on everyone's faces as Eugene was talking over the megaphone.
Yeah.
They were like, fuck you, dude. Or like flabbergasted, like, what?
Rosita was pissed. You could tell.
Oh, she looked like she was going to shoot lasers into his brain. And then Rick was ready to blow him up.
Yep.
He's like, well, fuck you then.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Then,
which I totally don't blame him. I mean, it's war.
I am Negan. All right.
While we're on this, all right, then gonna die like Negan. And then while we're on the subject, Eugene is the one who gave Sasha that iPod fully loaded. So I thought it was interesting that he would put a song on there that was written by a guy who killed himself.
Yeah.
It's like, are you like suggesting something? She has that pill.
And I didn't know that was the case. It's unbelievably tragic.
Yeah, it is. I shouldn't laugh. I saw that
today. And wow, that's really, really, really sad. It's a beautiful song.
Mm-hmm.
I loved it. Yeah, and I thought it was really, really nice.
Why would Negan suspect that Eugene had something to do with Sasha being dead in the comic? He doesn't know about the pill. I mean, not in the comic, in the coffin.
But it was the thing that went wrong.
So blame Eugene.
Well, it was a weird thing that went wrong, and Eugene was standing right there with Sasha as she loaded into the coffin, and there was nobody else. So,
all right. Let's take a little break. Talk about our first sponsor. That is Blue Apron. Not all ingredients are created equal. Fresh, high-quality ingredients make a real difference, so it's important to know where your food comes from. And I will say that Blue Apron does taste better and fresher to me. Just recently, a couple of days ago, I made these shiitake mushroom burgers, which are actually ground beef, but you put the mushroom inside the beef. And so not so yum for you, but the ground meats they taste better than what you get at the store. And I feel kind of frustrated by that sometimes. Like, why can't I get this? But I can because I have Blue Apron. So they're really tasty and fresh. And you mix the ground beef with this particular dish with garlic and scallions and miso and hoisin sauce. And it's on these toasted potato buns. It's one of the tastiest things I've had yet from Blue Apron. So I ate my burger for lunch, and then Jenny was late for work that night, and she got food at work, so I was going to leave it for her for the next day, but I couldn't help myself, and I ate the second one. Sorry, honey. But it was so good. So for less than $10 a meal, Blue Apron delivers delicious quality food courtesy of over 150 local farms, fisheries, and ranchers across the U.S. right to your door, supporting a more sustainable food system and setting the highest standards for ingredients. Plus, with Blue Apron's freshness guarantee, you can be sure that every ingredient in your delivery will arrive ready to cook, or they'll make it right. So that's why they're the #1 fresh ingredient and recipe delivery service in the USA. Upcoming meals for April are spinach and fresh mozzarella pizza with olives, bell peppers, and ricotta salata.
Yum.
Sweet and sour salmon with bok choy, carrot, and ginger fried rice. Parmesan crusted chicken with creamy fettuccine and roasted broccoli. Baby broccoli and fontana paninis with hard-boiled egg and arugula salad. Do you eat salmon? You don't eat fish, huh?
I don't eat fish. But man, you just made me so hungry right there.
I know.
We always record around dinner time.
Blue Apron knows how to write an ad. They're like, just read our recipes. It'll be good. You can check out this week's menu and get your first 3 meals totally free with free shipping by going to blueapron.com/deadcast. Free food, everybody. You'll love how good it feels and tastes to create incredible home cooked meals with Blue Apron. So don't wait. That's blueapron.com/deadcast. Blue Apron, a better way to cook.
Thanks, Blue Apron.
Thank you. All right, my number 4. My number 4.
Wait,
what?
Wait. I wasn't done with traitors.
Oh shit! I totally didn't realize I cut you off. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
Maybe we can edit it so I didn't cut you off. We'll just admit it. It's fine. Go ahead. Sorry.
There are just two other traitors, and we sort of touched on that. One is one may or may not be a traitor. I haven't decided yet. Dwight. The trees, he went there and he said, look, I can cut some trees down. I can make some obstacles. I can slow them down. And then I can come back and we can radio that everything's all clear after we've killed them. And then we can go in and we can take out them, and then we can take out the outposts, blah, blah, blah. Well, we saw him cutting down tree, or we didn't see him cutting down trees, but we saw trees were down. So that in fact happened. But then it looks like he was back in with the saviors. So I'm not sure if that was part of the plan or not. But anyway, he seemed to be on the side of the saviors during the battle. Although we didn't see him firing a gun. And later on, I think it was Daryl who found the toy soldier and he turned it over and it said "didn't know" on it, which makes me think that Dwight was trying to send a message that he didn't know about the deal with the trash holes.
Well, on the other side, it said, "Didn't know you were so gullible, loser."
Ha ha ha! Dummy.
He didn't pick up the other soldier. No. Yeah, I think, in my opinion, well, I don't know. Yeah, I'm in the same boat with you. I think it means that he actually didn't know and he's not a traitor, but we don't know.
We don't know. But I'm going to say that since he did cut down the trees, maybe that he at least acted partly on it. So that's good. And maybe he got waylaid by the saviors and pulled back in and he couldn't figure out a way to get out of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe he wasn't ready to switch sides until he saw that something was going on,
Right.
Like
that the trash holes were.
Yeah, that the battle had begun. Like if he's right there behind Negan when the battle starts, he could just kill him.
Yeah, I was hoping the whole time. I was like, come on, Dwight, come on, kill him. Anyway, so that's Dwight. And then finally, the trash holes. And God, they are the worst. They really are.
Yeah.
Fuck those guys.
They're dumb too. That's what bothers me.
They hate their use of English. Really? They're that lazy.
They're conserving. They're recyclers. They don't want to waste words.
Yes.
I just made a little motion with my hand.
Yes, you did. You folks sound like idiots and you betray people. And I got to say, Jadis is a terrible negotiator. She's just really the worst. I did like, however, that they used bicycles. I thought, you know what? That is how everybody should be getting around. Bicycles. They're, in terms of calories expended per mile, they're the most efficient vehicle on the road today. So, yay, bicycles. You can easily outrun a Zed, and you'll never run out of gas. And yeah, it's ridiculous. By the way, the garbage trucks look like they were parked in Alexandria. So I was wondering if the garbage trucks are still in Alexandria, in which case, yay, they've got garbage trucks.
I think so.
I just like that.
Yeah, I don't know. Did everybody, I mean, they made a hasty retreat, all the saviors and the trash holes. But yeah, they probably didn't have time to get those. Yeah, bicycles are efficient, and I really do think that that's why they talk so sparingly, because they're being efficient with their words, and I just don't like that. And I think I would appreciate them as a group in the show more if they hadn't done that, because I really do think Jadis is a really interesting character, the way she acts and looks and everything.
Yes.
So
she really is.
Yeah. So I wanted to go back to Dwight just a little bit. So I guess his plan was to, kill the saviors that came to Alexandria when they got there with Rick and everybody, and then sneak one of those trucks into Sanctuary like a Trojan horse and kill the loyalists, and then get the workers on their side, and then go one by one to the outposts and take care of them. And it was good to see Tara confronting him, because he killed Denise.
Yes.
And she's like, do it to Daryl.
I know. It was great.
And Daryl has that knife right up to his eye. I'm like, he's got a lot of practice. It might almost be like an automatic reflex to just shove it right through his head.
I mean, all Tara would have had to do is just tap the back of his elbow.
Yeah, she goes up and slams it. He's like,
Right.
ow, pokes him in the eye. Ow. And then Daryl said he would kill him no matter what, even if he is sorry. I'll kill him anyway.
I'm going to kill him.
So we'll see.
I'm going to kill him.
We'll see. That guy, he's dead. Okay. Now is it my turn? I'm sorry. I feel like a trash hole. All right. Let's see. Number 4 is Sasha. So they were showing so much of her. I'm like, okay, this is her last episode within the first few minutes. I think they showed her with the headphones on listening to that song and looking emotional, black background. Then they cut to the titles. And then when it came back, it was the same thing. And I was like, what if the whole episode was that?
Hilarious.
Her listening to a song.
It's a pretty song.
Some people would say that was an improvement. No, I'm just kidding. I was totally confused by Negan's plan for Sasha. Can you explain it?
I thought it was fairly clear.
Okay.
I thought he said he told her that she was going to be a bargaining chip.
Uh-huh.
He was going to take her there and make sure that they stand down or he'd kill Sasha.
Okay.
And then he'd punish them by taking 3 lives. And then she was like, she bargained him down to 1.
Okay, then if did he also know that the trash holes were going to be there with the guns trained on Rick and everybody?
Yeah, wasn't he the one who made the deal?
Okay, then why is it that why would you say, all right, my guys have their guns trained at your heads and they're going to kill you, but if you don't put your weapons down, then I'm going to kill this person and kill all of you.
Just an extra bargaining chip.
Yeah, it seemed like they made a big deal out of it and not good planning. I mean, it's like either you put your guns down and we're going to kill her, or you don't and we're going to kill her and kill all of you. Well, is she even necessary in that equation? It's just like, put your guns down and we'll kill you.
And did they need to bring a coffin?
Right. And why like, I guess his plan was to have her in the coffin. Once they got close, he was going to put her in there, but she volunteered to take the whole ride over in the coffin so she could take that pill.
So she'd have a nap.
But yeah, a permanent nap. Well, actually not so permanent. She woke right up. But then, I think the coffin sort of was a nice touch only because it symbolized, I'm going to take 1 life. That Negan said, I'm going to take a life. So that was kind of a nice touch. But I feel like they just jumped through a lot of hoops just to get this surprise of zombie Sasha coming out of the coffin.
Yes.
It didn't really make sense. And it wasn't that surprising. And she did kill one savior, but also her being a zombie seemed to shock all of the trash holes, but not the Alexandrians enough that they suddenly all got the upper hand on all the trash holes and none of them got killed. Maybe 1 or 2 got shot and some randoms that we don't even know got killed.
Some red shirts.
It's like, oh, look, a zombie. And they all freeze. And then the Alexandrians suddenly, it just the whole thing. I felt like, oh man, you really tried, but it didn't work for me. The only thing I liked was seeing zombie Sasha. And then she's on Negan and he's going, and he's like, oh, honey, no.
Right. And then the guy pulls her off. The vegetables guy pulls her off, and then somehow she falls on top of him, and she, he can't. Yeah.
Yeah, he can't get away from her. But I mean, I was glad that she at least got one of them. But I really felt like, man, why did she kill herself? Because did she know, oh yeah, when I get there, they're going to have all their guns trained on our people and I'm going to shock the bad guys so the good guys can win.
I don't think she
thought
that far ahead. No, of course she didn't. But I do think she thought that she wasn't going to be used as a pawn. against her friends.
Okay.
And so she was going to
Rather
take the
kill
choice
herself,
away.
Huh? Wow.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
that would be a risk, because you might think that Negan would be so mad that he would go ahead and take 3 people, even though he said he would just take 1.
Well, I don't think she thought that far ahead. I think she just thought, look, I'm going to kill myself and you're not going to use me as a pawn.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to say, she did manage to be a hero in the afterlife because, she did take out one of the saviors. So
yeah, maybe she actually thought she might have a chance of taking out Negan too.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. If only zombie Sasha had been successful. By the way, I really liked the brief little exchange between Sasha and Eugene where she said, I'm not giving up.
Yeah.
Not on you.
Me too.
And that was lovely.
Mm-hmm.
And that song, did you ever see Spike Lee's Malcolm X?
I never did.
Oh, it's such a great movie.
Yeah.
It's so good. Oh my God, it's a wonderful movie. And that song plays at the end. And so when I heard it, I was like, where have I heard this song before? And in like a movie or a show or something, I looked it up and I was like, was that at the end of Malcolm X? That's right. It's really, really good. Donny Hathaway. And another thing I liked about Sasha, because by the way, Sasha was my number 1, but I'm just going to talk about her right now. Sasha and Maggie sitting on the log watching the sunrise. And that is a scene from season 5, episode 10, Them. And it was one of my very, very favorite scenes of maybe all of Walking Dead. I loved it so much because it's just a quiet moment and they're sitting there and she has a music box and they're talking about, why are we here? And I think Maggie says, for this. And they're just looking at this beautiful sunrise. And then all of a sudden out pops Aaron and their guns come up. Remember that? And he's like, hey, I'm here to talk to your leader, Rick.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I didn't remember where that was from, but thanks for reminding me. Yeah.
And then he says something like, I've got good news. And all of a sudden the music box starts to play. It was great. It was one of my favorite scenes of the entire series. And I was so happy they brought it back.
Yeah. I kept wondering, this is really nice, but why are they showing it? I thought it was new footage, but maybe it was a flashback or it was going to have some relevance later on in the episode. So yeah, that was a nice moment. I remember that too.
Nice
now
moment.
That you mention it.
She's saying goodbye with Maggie, and that's why they're here.
Yep.
Lovely. And also, I didn't realize that the very, very first scene, the intro before the Walking Dead credits come on the screen, it's just like 20 seconds of Sasha listening to that song. Mm-hmm. I didn't realize that's the moment she's dying. That's the moment she dies.
After she took the pill.
Yeah, when I watched it the second time, I was like, oh yeah, she just died right there.
Oh my God.
And then it goes into The Walking Dead. Yeah.
That's crazy. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a guy die one time.
I did too.
I think we want to talk
at a
about
concert.
This. Oh, that's right. Oh my God.
Yeah, the guy killed himself in front of everybody in the concert.
Not the fray. Anyway.
No.
Jumped off the scaffolding, huh?
Jumped off the scaffold and almost killed the lead singer.
Oh my God.
Yeah, from the film Once, those two when they were touring. It was awful at the Mountain Winery.
Yeah, Mountain Winery.
What did you see?
I saw an old man fall to the ground, and my friend's mother, who was a nurse practitioner or something, went to give him CPR, but it didn't work. It was just a neighbor of hers. Old guy, yeah. I didn't find out until later that he didn't survive.
Aw.
All right, let's get back to some lighter stuff. So, speaking of Sasha, Abraham is saying to her in that flashback, before I go, I know we just started this, but I just wanted to, and she goes, don't. And I thought she was going to say, don't. I mean, I didn't really, but don't say anything poignant, because that's that's going to be your
kiss
doom.
Of death.
Yeah. Just don't say anything heartfelt or anything like
don't
meaningful.
Don't make a big speech, man.
But she said, don't go, which I thought was really sweet. Don't go. Just don't. All right. Well, what we were just talking about leads me to my number 3, which is sacrifice, because there's a lot about sacrifice in this episode, and Maggie and Sasha, everyone has sacrificed. Sasha made the ultimate sacrifice. She sacrificed herself. and Abraham was talking about sacrifice. We lay our big meaties across the chopping block. That's how he got, Sasha to agree that he and her and 9 other people should go with Maggie for some reason. I understand that some people should have went with her, but I'm not sure it should have been 9 people. No. 9 of their best. No. Maggie and Ezekiel sacrificed the safety of their people to enter the battle.
Yep.
But the best was Maggie's speech at the end. Wasn't that great?
It was. It
all
really,
about Glenn.
really was. Yep. And it tied it all in from way back in Atlanta.
I know. That's what I loved about it. Just reminded me of that moment. And I think that you had millions of people going, I never thought about that, because it was like, if Glenn hadn't done that, then Rick would have not lived, and then a lot of other lives since then could have probably been saved if Glenn hadn't done that. No, I'm just kidding. No, it was really touching, and it reminded me of back when we first started this whole podcast 7 years ago.
Yeah, because she called back right to the beginning. Mm-hmm. And I liked that she said we were strangers and we would have just passed each other on the street. But now we're family.
That's so
great. Anytime somebody talks about the family that you choose as opposed to the family that you're born with, I always get a little choked up because that's an important thing.
And for me, I get choked up about just recognizing that anybody you see who's a stranger under the right circumstances could be a very close friend. Oh. And even people who are maybe having a bad day or something.
It's so funny you say that.
What's inside them.
Every single time I go to a place where there's a ton of people, like a concert or a sporting event or an airport, I always look around and I say, look at all these people I don't know. There's so many people in this world and all these people that I don't know. And I look at them and I imagine their lives and I think, wow, these people could be my friends.
Yeah. If I'm in a good mood, I'll think that. If not, then I won't. But,
look at all these people taking up resources.
Yeah, or whatever. But occasionally, if I'm in the right mood, I'll be like, wow, I could really just open up a conversation with just about anybody around here and get to know them, That
you should try to do that more.
It's a nice feeling. Yeah, so I guess that's it. That's my number 3. What's your number 2?
My number 2 is something that we kind of touched on, which is the end. And I thought it was a little bit sappy, but it had me, man. It really had me. I loved Maggie's voiceover, and I liked it. They sort of had her voiceover as they showed a montage of finding and then, killing the zombie Sasha and then burying her, and they had a funeral for her. And then they showed, they showed Michonne, Rick, and Carl hugging it out. They showed the sanctuary when the sanctuary was like, we are going to war. Yay. And then they showed the people in Alexandria being nice to each other. How, Carol sat next to Morgan, who really looked like he could use a friend. And then Aaron, just in passing, Aaron gave an apple to Jerry. And it was just the contrast between the kindness that was going on at Alexandria versus we're going to war happening at the sanctuary. Was quite stark. And then finally on the podium, we don't hear what they're saying, but Rick, King Ezekiel, and Maggie are all up on this podium, this, tiny little makeshift podium, stage. And they're addressing the crowd in front of them. And you can imagine what they're saying, which is, we're going to war, but hopefully less
aggressive.
They're not. Yeah, they're not quite the same. They're probably trying
about it.
Yes, they're probably trying to rally the troops, not with fear and you must obey, but with, hey,
we're going to band together.
Yeah, work together, man.
I watched it twice, and I just, as you're describing this, realized that both times I think I was just seeing Rick in that tank and Glenn, because I was listening to Maggie and wasn't even processing the visuals on the screen.
Oh, yeah.
Because I didn't even know that they killed